Hello, everybody, and we are live with the session about IntelliJ IDEA, where you can ask your questions, whatever you like. Me and my friend Yuri.
Hi.
Hello. I'm Anton. I'm a developer advocate in Kotlin team and also in IntelliJ team. Yuri is a product manager.
Yes, for IntelliJ
for
IDEA.
IntelliJ IDEA, the Java and
Kotlin IDEA, obviously.
Nice. So what are we going to do today? We have collected a bunch of questions that we have been collecting through Slido for a couple of days, and we are going to monitor the questions in the chat. You can ask anything that you like. We have colleagues in the chat as well who are going to address the questions as they come, and we're going to pick some of the questions into this live stream as well. Whenever we have time, we're gonna ask some questions from you as well. So, for instance, now, for how long have you been using IntelliJ? Type in the chat. And meanwhile, when did you start?
I first saw IntelliJ IDEA back then in 2010, and it was much earlier.
So, you said
2010.
2010. So it means you're using IntelliJ for 14 years.
Yes, so anyway.
Yeah. So I celebrate 20 years this year.
Yeah, it's impressive amount of time.
Since version 4 or something.
Wow.
4.0 probably. So I have a lot of stories about IntelliJ, and I'm sure you do have as well. And we have some personal history with it. Right?
Yeah.
That's our favorite tool.
Old one.
Yeah, old man. So what's your favorite feature?
My favorite feature is obviously debugger, because debugger is it's perfect in JVM world. Much better than anything else, and you can do a lot of tricky stuff. You also showed many of them on your sessions.
Right. We do have some recordings of our sessions in this YouTube channel as well. And by the way, since we are on the YouTube channel, give us a thumb up so that the other users could, get the suggested content by YouTube. I do have my favorite features as well. And in debugger, I do love the debugger. But I think just typing out in completion how it works with me, that's kind of implicit favorite feature of mine. And also the tabless mode.
Tabless mode.
Yeah,
you're a pro, you feel like you can do
I'm not
everything.
using tabs, so no tabs, folks. You have shortcuts for navigation. Anyways, so if you like to type what's your favorite feature in the chat as well. So what are we going to do now? We're going to take the Slido questions first, right? For this period of time, once we are going through this list, you ask the questions in YouTube, folks, right? We try to address everything that we can. Also, we're gonna start a raffle. So we have a few questions, tricky questions about IntelliJ IDEA, and those who answer first are going to get a prize, a very nice prize, a voucher for the merch store.
Yes.
So you can purchase some swag from our swag store. There are some cool items, T-shirts and other things. And but before we go to Slido, actually, there are some announcements to be made. Since we are talking about IntelliJ IDEA and we are talking about the future of this awesome tool, we just started the AP, right?
Yes, we just started the AP program. Let me highlight that.
Let me bring up your screen, by the way. So we adding to the stage. Yes.
Yes, I have a bunch of highlights for you folks today. They are, pretty new, and also I will try to share some top secret highlights for you, so you would know many things before we even announce them on our blog. And before that, I would like to highlight the fact that we just started new AP program, so you can already try our AP builds with new features, new highlights, and also help us make our products much better by providing feedbacks. We usually send a survey in the end of the AP program. It's the correct place to share all your opinions on our products, actually, how you like them, what you don't like, and what you would like to improve, what would like us to improve the product, and how, actually. So please use EPs, share your opinions, and we will manage all that and fix bugs, obviously, improve the software, and help you to have a much better ID in them. Let's go to the highlights then, to top secret ones.
I just want to add to this. I realized since I'm using EAP since the beginning of EAP programs, I realized that I'm never excited about the new features because I see them coming all the time. I'm spoiled. I'm not excited about the release anymore. What's your favorite feature in the release? Oh, is it new? I've been using it for a year. All right. Yeah, let's go. Since you have some insights, what's coming? Can you share with us some of the highlights from the roadmap, maybe?
Yes, I'm going to show you some of the highlights, important ones. We are working on IntelliJ IDEA 24.1 already for a month or so. So teams already did some changes in there. You can, like some of them already in EP. You can spot them easily, but some of them are not yet. And I'm going to tell you more about such features. First of all, and the most important thing for you, for our audience, we know for sure, it's new Java support. Like new Java comes, you can expect us to always support it as the first ID out there. All the features of Java will be there as usual. So we'll have Java 22 features as a priority. Yeah. So right away, all the features in IntelliJ IDEA, always. Next comes a new terminal. We try to reimagine the overall terminal experience. It is already in EP, maybe under some registry flag, but you can find that, I'm sure. We'll highlight that as well on our new EP blogs, so stay tuned. We're also going to work on sticky context feature. It is highly voted. Really, many people, hundreds of people vote for this feature. We already started to research multiple ways how to do it properly.
Can you explain what's the sticky context? Is it as you scroll, the top level element will stick to?
Right. This is the feature where you scroll. Some most important parts, such as class, method, header, they stick to the top, so you would stay in the context, in the flow, and do not miss any details in the process. Okay. We also have quite a nice take from our community as a third-party plugin, which is already built and available. You can try that. So far, we have not brought it to our products, but yeah, we work on that. Let's see how it goes. It is highly voted feature on our roadmap. We also work closely with our machine learning team on full-line completion, where we suggest the entire expression for Java and Kotlin, even locally, without an internet connection. So we will be able to suggest you more nice and precise suggestions right away, without you even expressing your intentions to us, without even you opening completion pop-up. Just the entire line will be there. Let's see.
That's awesome. And it's fast, right?
Yeah, it's fast because it doesn't need any network in the process. Everything would work locally. Yeah, so it's like machine learning delivered to your ID.
And I don't have to pay for that separately.
Yes, we expect that this feature at least is included to IntelliJ IDEA Ultimate, to the regular subscription. Yeah, so you can expect that.
Nice. Nice.
We also work a lot on performance of IDE. We saw all your questions on performance matter for sure. We work on many performance improvements with all our teams, platform teams, and also Java team, Kotlin team, Ultimate team, all the folks involved actually. And we are going to provide you with much faster Maven Gradle sync. we improving completion, search everywhere, and highlighting. So you would be much more productive for our products in the end.
Really nice, really nice. Since we already mentioned performance, and we have some questions in the Slido about performance, so maybe it just makes sense to address it right away, so that the people would understand that we don't fix performance as it comes, as the issues appear. Yes, we do fix them if you report them, but we have a team that works on performance, and we are monitoring the performance. It's a very serious thing. And can you share some graphs? Actually,
yeah, sure.
It looks so nice when you showed to me.
Yeah, so how it works actually for our teams, they not only react to your issues, obviously, we do read all of them. We open every CPU snapshot. We open every memory dump you upload to make sure that we know the problem and we work on this. But not only that, we constantly writing performance tests and checking charts for regressions automatically. So we have many performance tests for all the products, like from IntelliJ IDEA and to the even Scala plugin, Cardano, Fleet, all this stuff. We have many projects in there where we run those tests, including indexing, completion, highlighting, all the metrics. We do collect a lot of metrics in there, store them, and analyze them. And this process is actually continuous. That's the most important part. It doesn't finish anytime soon. We are going to continue here. We're going to prevent any regressions, and we are going to improve here.
Nice.
Yeah, that's the goal.
So that was actually a nice segue into the ruffle question, because if performance is constantly improved, the IDE not only works faster, but also starts faster. And our team that creates splash screens is not really happy about it, because they create so beautiful, so nice looking pictures. They even apply some generative AI magic to generate those screens. And the IDE starts fast and the people don't see the splash screen. So the first question we have for the ruffle, pay attention here. So on one of the splash screens, we in the past,
back then,
many years ago, we used to have a white bird. So type your answer in the chat. What's the bird? Yeah. Was it clear? I hope the question is clear. You have to type the name of the bird.
Yes.
And the first one gets a prize.
Yeah.
So meanwhile, the folks are monitoring the answers and the questions, of course, as well. Let's go to Slido now and address the questions one by one. So the first question by Joshua, what's your setup as a JetBrains employee? Joshua, heard that everybody has stream decks.
I don't have one.
I do, but I'm not a developer, actually. I do write code, but I do have a stream deck to control the key lights on my desk. Sometimes I need to shoot a video. I need a key light, like one we have right now in the studio, and I push the button there. Nothing else, no other automation. I wasn't too creative to configure the stream deck for me. So maybe someone else in the team uses stream decks in a more nicer way and more flexible way, but I don't. But otherwise, my setup is just this laptop here and the external screen, but developers have a different setup.
I can actually tell you more about developer setup. Many people on team have also laptops such as MacBook or Dell ones, and also many people actually have multiple laptops in the same time, having, for instance, Windows laptop and macOS laptop, especially for performance testing. As I mentioned already, we actually check how IDE behaves on different operating systems. And if we are talking, for instance, about quality assurance engineers, they sometimes have 5 or more machines because they would like to check every CPU architecture, every OS, and maybe even older Windows version. Windows 10, for
or
instance.
different Linux distributions.
Yes, right. Yeah, so many people actually have laptops. Some of them have desktops. It is like old way, but some people on team prefer it rarely. Yeah, and also I would highlight that many people actually have many multiple additional screens. So we also use external screens because it makes it easier to test additional IDE. It opens, we debug there. So we usually have our IDE and IDE we debug and develop side by side.
Like, do you know if anyone tried coding in VR headset or anything like that?
I don't know.
Okay.
Not heard of it.
Okay, next question is by Anil, is about AI assistant, if it could be free for ultimate users. Well, it's a reasonable question. Unfortunately, running this service requires a lot of resources and it's very expensive. We have to make this feature sustainable for us as well. So there's just two ways. Either we charge it for it separately, or we increase the price for the whole product, which is not a good idea, probably. Well, it could also be an option, but we decided to go the other way. About the new UI.
Yeah.
How do you like the new UI yourself?
I actually really like the new UI, especially after all the fixes team did, because in JetBrains there is a really strong culture of dog fooding. All the folks on team actually use IntelliJ IDEA every day. Even me, do not think of me as a product manager who only attends meetings and writes blog posts. No, I actually code every day. I try to use our product and try something new, and even try to build some features for you, our dear users. So we use new UI. We try to fix all the bugs. We try to fix all the feedback, and we know many people report to us that they are not happy. It's important to hear you, important to listen to feedbacks. And what I can tell you now that every EP program have special empty field in the survey, so you could express your opinion on new UI explicitly and say us what's wrong, what you don't like, what we should improve, what we should fix. There's no plan right away, like next release or so, to get rid of old UI. We have not decided yet. We need more feedbacks and more statistics. And also we have quite positive overall expressions and survey results for APs. Many people tell that really we like cleaner UI, less distractions, and we really like new way of layout and tool windows. So we actually try to balance here the many users reporting different opinions. Please cast your vote, participate in the EP, and tell us more about what you don't like. Actually,
I at first I was switching it on and then turning back to the old UI, but over time it was improving. The issues were addressed, like the colors got different, and I'm pretty happy. I switched to the new UI, and whenever I'm watching some video with the old UI I have done, I'm like, what's this? What is this tool? Is this really old video? Is it like from 2010? No, it's just last year.
Yeah. So old-fashioned.
Yes, old-fashioned. Okay, let's see what else do we have here. Yeah. It's a performance-related question, which we already kind of addressed. Are there any plans to put the IDE on a diet? We can probably elaborate a little bit more into this.
Yeah, right. It is important question that many people say, well, IDE is slow or like memory hungry or something else. And I here have a recipe for you how you could help us to make it much better. We have a nice page on how to report performance issue to us. Like easy, like 1 page length, a really small one. And we read every CPU snapshot and every heap dump you provide us with, because it is really important. We feel your pain. We also struggle a lot with performance sometimes because we have a huge mono repository at JetBrains. It is, I would say, 500,000 files at the moment, or even more. I guess it is much bigger now. of files, only files in our repository, and it is also Java plus Kotlin. We do write Kotlin a lot nowadays, and we have a lot of files in Java still. We do not proactively convert them, but still write new code in Kotlin. Yeah, and we also try to fix all the performance issues we stumble upon in everyday use. Yeah, so please report your performance issues. We actively work on this, and yeah, I can help you with it for sure.
Right. Let's take a few questions
From YouTube.
from YouTube as well. There was I think it's a good question. If it's possible to create a JavaScript project in this IDE.
Yeah, right. For sure, it is possible.
Of course, even though we say that it's a Java and Kotlin IDE, but as a Java developer, you're developing web apps. Of course, you need to develop something in JavaScript as well. And
yeah, if you go to File, New Project right away, you would see that there is Angular, React, Vue, and the plain HTML5 projects available for you to create right from New Project Wizard in IntelliJ IDEA and out of the box. So it is there.
Right. There was a question from about EAP, if EAP is fully featured. Yes.
Yes.
Everything is there. You can. It's not Kotlin features. It's specifically, the EAP is specifically designed for us to get your
only
feedback.
AI, I would say. Only AI as a service still requires.
Yeah. Okay. AI is not part of IntelliJ as like by default.
Yeah. It's a service.
As a product. It's a service. That's why it's not included. Right. I'm trying to find if anyone answered the question, and there was a correct answer, but I'm not sure if it was the first one. There were options like parrot or dove or eagle or falcon.
Seagull.
That's a good one. Eagle. Robin, crow, starling, mockingbird.
Goose. I see goose.
Andrei, you are the winner, right? Please contact us. What was it, support? Like, do you remember?
I guess, yeah.
So, folks, our folks in the chat, please figure out for Andrei how he should contact us to get his prize. Okay.
We're well prepared today.
Well prepared. Anyways, I'm gonna remember that. I'm going to star this answer in our internal chat, and we have a winner. But we had a lot of good guesses.
Yeah.
Anyways.
Yeah, it was a white goose, and the release was kind of Leda something. 12.
I think it was 12.
12, right? Yes, right. It was 12 release.
And the funny story about it was the EAP splash screen
leaked into the,
which wasn't supposed to be in the release, but it got into the release. So that's we have another question, a bit more complicated one. Name the first JetBrains product that IntelliJ IDEA was based on. So IntelliJ IDEA wasn't the first name. It's the most famous product by JetBrains, but the initial name was something else. So try guessing what it was. It's a tough question to answer, but maybe you can find an answer in the Google.
Or AI.
Or AI. I don't think so, by the way. Right. So let's try that. The first one who answers wins.
Yep.
So there is one option, they say refactor. No, it's not the correct answer. Yeah. So let's proceed with the questions.
On slide down.
Yeah. So what do we have there? We have a question about, I guess, graphical user interfaces. If there are any plans to add more support for building this kind of GUI apps.
Okay, let me tackle that. First of all, we know some people still do JavaFX projects, and also Compose multi-platform and Compose desktop becomes much more popular nowadays. So let us see how it goes. I know many people would like to use Java Packager, for instance, or maybe there's, for instance, Conveyor, such startup doing some builds on top of JavaFX and Compose desktop. So yeah, we certainly could help with that. If you would tell us more about your scenarios on your track, that would be great, because in this case, we would see what exactly needed, what is missing, why it should be as a UI and not, for instance, build tool integration, Maven integration, Gradle integration. Please tell us more. I know desktop programming is popular and maybe it's a niche today, not so popular as web development, but still we see some positive movement in there. For instance, new frameworks come.
Right. Joshua asked about plugin development. If we could make a video tutorial or a course on plugin development, we have that on very same YouTube channel. Jakub with the team were running live streams and webinars on how to build the plugins for IntelliJ IDEA platform. The documentation improved quite a lot during the past 3 years. It's skyrocketed. So give it a go. I mean, search on this YouTube channel, like plugin development for IntelliJ IDEA. You will find it awesome.
Let me also highlight that we have quite friendly JetBrains platform Slack community, so you could join that. Many people also help with questions, and JetBrains folks also there, and we try to help you with the typical questions and share some links in there.
About Code with Me, what's the future of Code with Me?
What's the future of Code with Me? Obviously, it is not only Code with Me, but also remote development nowadays.
Right.
Let me share some technical details maybe here. Code with Me and our remote development offering, gateway, and also all the integrations with third-party vendors, they all based on the same technology basis. Actually, they use a lot of stuff. We also quite successfully launched Code with Me on premises for organizations. You can easily find that on our website. So if your company would like to use Code with Me in your remote scenarios and share your development and use pair programming in your workflows, you could use that. We do provide on-premises versions of Code with Me as well. So Code with Me not only lives, but also evolves constantly, especially with recent developments of remote development offering.
All right. I was monitoring if there are any options, any answers in the chat about this
first name.
About the first name, so I'm gonna repeat the first name of the product before IntelliJ IDEA appeared. Okay, let's address the other question. Joshua was very active on asking questions. Thank you, Josh. It's basically not a question, but a feedback about the run to cursor, the new run to cursor in the debug
We
mode.
released it just recently in November.
It's awesome. I really like it. I like that it's discoverable because the feature itself existed always, right? You could have clicked on the line number and just run to cursor, but how do you know that you have to click there?
Exactly.
You don't know. And there is a shortcut as well, but this new feature makes this new action discoverable, and people do like it. What else? Remote profiling support.
That's a tough question. I know people would like to profile remote hosts, Kubernetes clusters, for instance, or Docker containers. And the problem is it's not easy with remote process because we have to somehow deliver profiler to that part, to Docker image or to Kubernetes pod or to remote process. We would probably try to cover this with documentation. Maybe it would help you to do it in more manual way, but we constantly looking for a better solution. And we now try to investigate how we would do this automatically, maybe semi-automatically. So let's see, let us think of it. Please share more your scenarios. You know the issue already, and linked it.
All right. So meanwhile, while Yuriy was talking, I checked the answers, and we do have a winner.
Okay.
So there were options. What people suggested: Visual Cafe. No,
Visual
it was a product by someone else, not by JetBrains. There was a reasonable option: Refactor.
So close.
Very close. I used to work in a product called Refactor It.
Refactor.
It was a plugin for NetBeans.
Oh,
right. Adding refactoring to NetBeans ages ago, like before I started using IntelliJ IDEA. ReSharper. No, it's a different product.
Not the first one, at least.
Not the first one, but first one for .NET.
Yes.
Right. IntelliJ. It's a partial name, but no, sorry.
Yeah.
But the winner is Renamer.
Yeah.
Renamer. So Giacomo Petronio.
Yep.
That's the winner. So we have him there. So please contact our marketing, and you're gonna get a prize. There was a spin funcer just like a second after with the same, and the JH Park with the same. But well, the first one gets the prize.
We still have another question for you folks later, so yeah, stay tuned.
I think, how much time do we have? I think it makes sense to ask it right now.
Yeah, let's do this.
Yeah. So the first release of IntelliJ IDEA happened in 2002.
Yep.
And what are the things that this product supports today? Build tools, version control systems, support for Java in different languages. And in the first version of IntelliJ IDEA, obviously, there were some features and the support for Java language, but also for the build systems, right? So there was only one, right?
It's still with us.
It's still with us today. And you have to name which was the build system that IntelliJ IDEA 1.0 supported initially.
Yeah, in the very first version of IntelliJ IDEA, which build tool was integrated.
Nice. Okay, back to Slido. There is a question about new languages. I think it's not really about IntelliJ IDEA itself, but maybe they are asking because we have built Kotlin. Right? Yeah. This is something we can discuss here as well.
Philosophical question.
A little bit philosophical question. So if I recall correctly, when Kotlin started and Andrei Breslav was invited to build Kotlin, he immediately reacted that it's a bad idea to build a new language.
Yep.
Right? So if you have an idea to build a new language, that's a bad idea. I mean, maybe you just want to learn. That's a good idea, but
at least without details.
Yeah. All right. But by default, building a new language is a bad idea. You need to have a vision that you will solve something or will
some real problem, actually.
Some real problem. Okay, it might be a scientific problem, but it's still something that is not solved. And of course, academia is working towards, improving
Haskell.
Language theory, maybe even Haskell. I mean, like ages ago, we wouldn't even think that type inference is something that could be made mainstream. And whenever we didn't type a type of variable, it was considered a dynamic language. But today we have Kotlin, we have Scala, we have other languages that have type inference, and they are statically typed.
Yep.
Pleasant to type, very efficient, and so on. So
there are also niches where there's a lack of good languages. Look at Rust, for instance. System programming, operating system drivers, embedded. C++ is horrible language, and that's why Rust actually emerged. It tried to tackle this problem of safety. First of all, it identified this problem, then it tried to solve it.
Meanwhile, we have a winner.
Right away. I saw it was the first person who provided the answer, actually. Right away.
Right away. So
it was the HMM
CPI, but it's Igal.
Igal, yeah.
Igal Tabachnik.
We know you.
We know you. Thanks for coming. And you are the winner.
Yep.
Okay, back to Slido. The new languages we just answered. There was a question by Matt about this specific format link, will settings links like JetBrains / Android Studio blah 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 become useful?
Maybe let's figure out the use case. I see it is pretty legitimate to have it. I guess JetBrains Toolbox would try to handle that. and please share an issue with us. I guess something like that would be useful. We may discuss what else and how it would be used. Let's see. Why not?
Let's explain it a little bit. So, folks, whenever you have a URL, like a link, a URL written as JetBrains : / and some path after that, if you have Toolbox app installed, then those links are handled specifically.
Yeah, in the OS.
Right. So you can create this kind of things like a link that you click and get into some place in the IDE, right?
Yes.
So like it helps the integration with TeamCity, for instance.
Or code review tools.
Or code review tools, so that you can jump from a web UI into the IDE right away. What else? There was a question about the CSV files. I like edit as a table for the CSV. I think it makes a good feature request to the team. If it's not supported yet, perfect, like really well-defined feature request. It totally makes sense. It's just about priorities for the team to implement if they have free time.
Yes, yes, right. And also, let me highlight this once again. IntelliJ platform is quite open environment. We do provide sources for the most of platform functionality and enable you to make plugins for IntelliJ and many our IDEs. So if you clearly see what you would like to achieve, you can try that and bring your feature to life, even like in your company or for your workflows.
Okay. So how do I filter pandas data frames in debug mode for the new PyCharm version? We are not really into
PyCharm.
Yeah, we are not into PyCharm and we are not into Python, both of us. But I think it's a reasonable question. You need to be able to filter something in debug mode. Totally understandable. I think it's best to ask from the support channel.
Yeah, or even go to UTrack and suggest something.
Right. Let's check if we have questions in the YouTube chat. Kotlin for everything. Someone was commenting.
Yeah, we have Kotlin for data, for instance, for data analysis. Yeah. For machine learning.
Yeah, for machine learning, for web development, we are building Kotlin for WebAssembly.
Yes.
Even okay, there was. Yeah, it doesn't seem that there's something I need to address from the chat right now. Let's go back to Slido. In IntelliJ learning features, we have a features trainer.
Yeah, we also have a learning center and JetBrains Academy. You can always go there and see what courses are available, for instance.
So the question is, would you consider adding training for beginner developers on things like module artifacts that you set up when you are creating a project? I think there are multiple sides to this question.
Yes, such as build tools.
Build tools or a better project wizard. Yeah. Maybe we could even improve the project wizard with some AI tooling.
Yeah, and we obviously should give this feedback to our team. For instance, JetBrains Academy. Yeah, probably we could have such a course or a learning feature.
Right. So Peter is asking, for search, I can select file mask and it gives me Java, XML, and so on. I have a lot of Java files with test, ending with test, that I don't want to search. Is there a way to do search for all Java files except files with the test in the name? Yes, there is a way. There is a less known feature called scopes.
Yes, right.
You can create your own scope and like saying that, okay, that folder goes into the scope I'm interested in, give it a name, and then whenever you invoke search, you select the scope and
the scope is defined via a pattern. So you can exclude, for instance, such files, such a star test.java from scope, and then in Search Everywhere, in Finding Files, there is a special button called Scope, where you can find all the scope to search in, and you just choose your one. And
right, and scope is not just for grouping files. It's a very powerful feature that actually goes into multiple places. For instance, yeah, and
code styles.
Code styles, it goes into debugger. It color, you can give it a color, and then the frames are colored with a specific color, and so on. Say, if remember the keyword scopes and go to the documentation, and you will find out a lot of.
Or just open your settings. They're actually quite easy to find in project settings.
If it would be awesome if there was a better way to use IntelliJ with voice only. Yes, I agree with that. So the question, Visual Studio Code offers cursorless. Okay, so there's like an alternative. Like it's an example how people can use that. Well, we just agree. One day maybe it will happen. I don't know. Like if the UX team decides that we need better accessibility for people who could not use the hands and prefer to speak to the IDE.
Yeah, I saw such issue probably on your track. Please do not forget to upvote. We usually consider all your votes and also try to prioritize most voted features to see what's important for you. So yeah, I guess it should be out there.
Okay, there. Andre is asking, is there a way to assign reviewer for a GitHub PR?
I don't know. Probably
inside IntelliJ. I'm not sure. I haven't tried that feature. I'm not assigning reviewers, but if it's not there, then it's a feature request.
Yeah, right.
Right. Fleet. We did have questions about Fleet and so
also on YouTube.
And on YouTube and here as well. So will Fleet make IntelliJ obsolete?
I guess no. Fleet have this product has quite different meaning and quite different UI approaches, and for us it means a lot because it is our opportunity to revisit many things that are quite stable, well established on IntelliJ, and cannot be changed in the existing product.
Like UI technology.
Yeah, UI technology, for instance.
If you didn't know, IntelliJ is developed using
Swing,
which is
quite obsolete.
Quite obsolete, right? And I prefer to think about it as it's
quite stable.
It's a very not about Swing, but about the question itself. That it's a how do you say it? Those are very different IDs.
Yes.
It's like asking if Linux will make Windows obsolete.
Like, or Porsche, does this means BMW is obsolete?
Right.
Yeah. And also, to make it super clear, Fleet, and especially Fleet Smart Mode, heavily based on IntelliJ itself. It launches IntelliJ IDEA as a backend. It uses all the code inside, inspections, results, highlightings from IntelliJ IDEA right in background. So we try to reuse as many things as possible in such a setup, and we change things where we do need experiments, such as UI technology, remote development capabilities, or maybe different collaborative workflows.
Right. Regarding Fleet, I think in the YouTube chat we had a question about SDK, like the plugins. Will there be plugins for Fleet? I guess we're working on this, right?
Not only we're working on this, we also published a blog post on building and publishing plugins for Fleet, I guess. Recently, there is at least one plugin published for Fleet on the marketplace. So more of it coming. So there will be SDK with documentation at some point. So for sure, we are quite interested in people, in community, building plugins for our IDs.
As we are speaking about plugins, let me ask the audience, what's your favorite plugin? Type in the chat. And do you know how many plugins do we have in the marketplace?
Approximately.
Approximately.
Only, yeah. And you want to know this number, yeah?
Yeah.
It's 7,000 plus.
7,000, and out of which we have like a category of themes.
Yeah, we have categorized themes. I don't know, maybe 100 themes.
Different themes.
Yeah.
And so we do have some default themes in the IDE, right? The light theme, the dark theme, darker, high contrast, and then you can install
material one.
Material one. So the other question for you folks: what's your favorite theme? Light mode or dark mode? Light mode, yes. I'm using it. Yes. So keep it is what
keep lights on, please.
Yeah, keep the lights on. Let's see, what else do we have? With the discontinuation of app code, will an official Swift plugin be released? So people need to program Swift, and apparently Xcode is not the best user experience for them.
At the moment, we have not decided yet on Swift support on IntelliJ IDEA, but we already have Swift support on Fleet, so you can switch to that and try how we support Fleet for Swift for programming. So, for instance, you can try iOS development there, and we also use Swift support and Fleet for Kotlin multi-platform development, so it is useful for multi-platform tasks. But unfortunately, we cannot share just yet any news on Swift for IntelliJ IDEA.
Okay, we are getting into the different languages territory here. There is a question about Rust. There are Rust users, obviously, and we did have a plugin which was open sourced, and we made it closed. We closed it, and we now have Rust Rover
and the corresponding plugin.
Right, and so the question is, why did we stop? Well, why did we decide to develop Rust plugin as closed source? Well, for economical reasons, we need to make sure that the team that develops Rust support can, earn money.
Yeah, it basically enabled us to expand the team to make sure that we quite committed to provide the best possible Rust experience on our IDEs.
Right.
So we would like to build more features. We would like to provide more features. And for such commitment, we would like to have some monetization, which enables us to build such products as IntelliJ IDEA and Rust Rover.
It needs to be sustainable. Otherwise, it's very hard to, build something that is good enough.
Yeah.
Any plans to support remote development for Android? Well, Android is primarily a niche for Android Studio, which is not actually developed by our team.
There are some discussions, though. I cannot share any details at the moment. We are investigating, I would say, this niche. This would be probably enabled right away on Fleet, for instance, because Fleet is a remote first IDE. It supports it natively and by default, and you would use it there. And at the moment, there are only ideas and discussions around that. So I cannot share anything right now.
I just noticed there was a very good question in the chat by Philip. Anything new with Spring? Everything, right? Everything new with Spring.
Every release of IntelliJ IDEA, our team tries to deliver new features for Spring developers, bigger ones, smaller ones, but each release we try to do that. For instance, for the upcoming release, we are going to publish and document and tell you more about GraalVM debugging for Spring and native images, because we build proper debug support for Windows, macOS, and Linux at the moment. So you would be able to debug your natively compiled binaries with Spring in IntelliJ IDEA. So every release, we try to do something new for Spring development. We know for sure it is the main framework for building web apps.
Nice. I can see a lot of responses to the favorite plugin like JMix, IDEA Vim. People like
JPA
Buddy, light mode, DevKit. Oh, perfect. There are a lot of users for light mode as well, and there was a good question about Just a second. It's running so fast. Yeah. Are there any plans for adding capability of running Kotlin Scratch files with the debugger? Totally makes sense. There is ongoing work on debugger support for Kotlin
and scripts redesigned.
and scripts. So eventually, yes, it will. We will get at the point where everything will be debuggable, and this is our goal as well. We need that too, not only the users. Okay.
Let me highlight that we actually use Kotlin a lot for build scripts of IntelliJ IDEA itself. Our build is written in Kotlin, in pure Kotlin.
Nice. Regarding Kotlin, just came a new question into Slido. It's highlighted, so I noticed it. There is a question if AI assistant does it support all languages, not only Kotlin? Yes.
Yes.
It's for Java. It's for everything. Joshua is very productive on asking questions, and since we mentioned IDEA Vim, so his question is totally relevant here. How is IDEA Vim prioritized?
We have enthusiasts on IntelliJ IDEA team and IntelliJ platform team who really like Vim and IDEA Vim experience, who really like to have it, and we try to keep this plugin evolve it and improve it every release. Not every release we have enough efforts and enough resources to do that. Sorry, it's just not a very big team working on IntelliJ IDEA and platform, but for sure we're very committed to deliver this, to make it compatible with every release, to release it, and to make it work and do not break it. So if it breaks for any reason, let us know. But we also test it and use it. Even our team folks are quite enthusiastic about Vim experience.
Nice. I'm a long-time Vim user, but for some reason I just couldn't use.
You just converted,
Yeah, I just converted to IntelliJ IDEA default settings, and that's it. I'm gonna skip a few questions in Slido since we addressed them already in one way or another, and I'm getting to Antonio's question about the Scratch files. Will it ever be possible to store them in cloud?
We actually think of it at the moment. There are many improvements nowadays on setting sync. The team actually working on syncing many things, such as bookmarks or Scratch files or something else. But in case of Scratch files, unfortunately, the question is much more complex, because this is your content which you write. There's certain limitations about privacy of this data and files, and we need to figure out how to do this correctly.
Maybe
to encrypt it, to store it, something like this, to not have any legal and regulation risks.
Right. Yeah. And maybe the Scratch files could be with the project.
Yeah, right.
Maybe, but right. Currently, they are in a separated folder, which appears in any of your projects, right? So it's
reusable.
The idea is that they are reusable everywhere, and But I think if we don't have this feature request in your track, you should file it. Okay. Something about hyperscale. My question is, do you have plans to expand the training courses on hyperscale for Kotlin? I think they are being expanded as we speak. Yep. I saw teams preparing new courses for the specific areas, like web development with Kotlin, or like building backends with Kotlin, and so on. So yes, courses are going to appear, and Hyperscale is a platform, so the trainers are free to develop their courses in there if they have the motivation. Slido just reshuffled all the questions somehow.
Someone voted a lot.
Yeah. So I need to find, I need to be careful if I already read the question. When will we release the stable version of Fleet?
When it's ready, obviously.
When it's ready. It's like when you ask Java architects when will Valhalla come, when it's ready. Okay.
You know, which job you're waiting the most?
Job.
Job, yes. It's my personal question to you today.
It's a very tough question because I stopped monitoring jobs.
Because
there were so many, and since the release train is every 6 months, and I'm currently, let's say 99%, I'm actually coding in Kotlin. I kind of stopped monitoring jobs.
I'm waiting for exactly one, and this is Project Lilliput. Because you know
Lilliput,
I'm
yes.
very in the performance side of things, and I really like the idea of shrinking all the Java objects.
Okay, I thought you are waiting for an answer like JEP number 400.
No, the code name is enough.
Yeah, Lilliput is very exciting, of course, right? By the way, have you noticed a small detail in this room? Since we are Java and Kotlin IDE, is there anything that refers to Java?
Yeah, tell us
in the comments. Okay, this one we already answered. Editor edition for Elixir.
Elixir. Wow. Tough questions.
Before we answer that, let me tell you a story. Today we have a product called GoLand. It's a separate IDE for Go programming language, right? And I remember some time ago, like in 2010, was it? There was an issue in UTrack asking for Go support in IntelliJ IDEA. And the answer was, this is not a popular language. So at that time, we were not even willing to build support just inside the IDE. And now we have a separate dedicated IDE. So you never know. The Elixir might become very interesting for a specific audience and
also sometimes not only us but someone else from community introduces new IDE. For instance, remember Cursive IDE for Clojure, basically written not by us. You know, it's a standalone product delivered by another company, another contributor, which is not related to JetBrains in any way.
Yeah, I remember one IDE for ActionScript, which was commercial and also not by us. So IntelliJ platform allows you to build your own IDE, no problem. Okay. So how much time do we have? Actually, we are running out of time. There are good questions, and if we did not address them, and you feel like something doesn't work, you need some help, please ask from our support. Our support team is awesome. I mean, really, we see how they work, and you're gonna get help.
Yeah, by the way, we also read a lot of UTag issues. I mean, development team, including me and all the folks working on all the teams of JetBrains IDEs. So many people on team read UTag issues every day, and do not feel that we ignore you. No, we actually read a lot and try to, build some piles out of them, similar looking, some areas for improvement, and then build some stories and improve this.
Nice. So yeah, people noticed Duke there, right there on the background. This little dude right here.
Yeah,
that's Java Duke.
Small red nose.
Okay, thank you everybody for coming to our stream. It was a pleasure to answer your questions. I hope you're happy with our answers, and well, if you're unhappy, well, we did our best. Follow us on this channel. We are preparing a lot of good content for you, so you can learn a lot. And do you want to say something?
Yes, obviously. Once again, EP program just started. Please help us build better ideas for ourselves tomorrow. Yeah. So, and let's see how it goes. We usually try our best.
All right, folks. See you. Thanks for coming. Have a good one.
Yeah. Bye-bye.